Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. And this is a show that balances out all the bad news out there. We don't talk about the headlines because the headlines are almost always, if not always, negative. If it bleeds, it leads. So I wanted to create a show where we talk not about headlines, but heartlines. And thank you to all those who said you wouldn't last more than a year, because I love proving people wrong. We're going on 13 years, May 1st, 2025. And I'm so happy to be here with one of my favorite Wednesday co-hosts. You are tuned into Doctors in the House and the very special Dr. Tiffanie Tate, who is reporting live from Italia. Welcome back to the studio, Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
Always a pleasure to be here, Dr. Marissa.
And from Italy, no less. It's the end of the day for her, and she's had quite the day. We'll hear more about that, I'm sure, in the gratitude sandwich. But for those who have not met her, where have you been? She's been a great co-host on Wednesdays now for this series for over a year. We had our year anniversary. I don't remember when. I have really good memory, but my recall sucks. But she's a U.S. Navy veteran, a published author many times over, and retired OBGyn from Compton, California. Playwright, singer, poet, songwriter, multi-hyphenate, as that's what we do here. Dr. Tiffanie has published many beautiful children's books, including my favorite, an important one called Bad Touching. Her newest one, I don't know if it's the newest one anymore. I think I can't keep up with you. Money Matters. You'll hear more about it in the middle of the show. But please welcome back. And she's going to start us off with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. It's the morning good life habit, #Blisscipline for starting the day. What are you grateful for is the top of the bun, and outside of yourself. And then the bottom of the bun, we're going to model for you before you go to bed tonight, is what are you grateful for inside of yourself, or appreciation. So, Dr. Tiffanie, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the reason that I came to Italy. I came for a wedding to celebrate Mercedes and Otto, who had their nuptials in a beautiful city called Stresa, which is just outside of Milan. And if you've never been there, I highly recommend you go, because it is just absolutely gorgeous. And they had fireworks, and they were married right on the water, and it was just the most beautiful wedding I have ever seen. And she was like a Disney princess, and I just loved it. It was beautiful from beginning to end.
Dang. It's funny. I didn't ask you what city. I've been to Stresa, and it is beautiful. Like the mountains, right? In that area. It's just gorgeous. I didn't realize I've even been to the city. Well, congratulations so much to Mercedes. I got to meet her and her now husband and her husband's daughter, who looks very Asian, and she's not. But congratulations to them. We'll do this. And now you're still in Italy. You're coming home tomorrow, and see, the show must go on. So I love it that you are in Italy and yet on the air, on stage, on camera with me right now. I'm grateful that I am green with envy because I love Italy very, very much. The most beautiful places I've ever been to is in Italy, called Portofino on the Italian Riviera. And I did take my younger daughter to Italy for her high school grad trip, and I just took Dr. Tiffany into my bathroom via the camera on the phone to show her uh, that beautiful bridge that was a puzzle, and it got framed, and it was also a picture with my daughter. So I'm grateful that I get to travel, and what a blessing that is. What else are you grateful for?
And I am also grateful that we had the opportunity to celebrate Mia's birthday out here. And we took a beautiful, fabulous, fun-filled cooking class, and we learned how to make homemade pasta. And then we had the opportunity to eat our homemade pasta, and it was magnifico.
Wonderful. Happy birthday, dear Mia, my bonus niece. Happy birthday to you. She's a songbird. Her voice is so beautiful. If you've missed her singing on my show several times, just go to my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe, give us the finger, this one, and you can find those shows where her voice is truly like an angel and a songbird put together. And thank you for that heart. We have people, eyeballs are rolling into the studio. Thanks for joining us today. It is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, and our very special Wednesday series, Doctors in the House, with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
and we're taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich for breakfast as usual. What else are you grateful for, Dr. Tiffany?
I am grateful that we had an opportunity to also stay on the Amalfi Coast with Nathaniel before he had to go back to school. So we explored the Amalfi Coast and enjoyed staying there for the weekend before my son had to go back to school. And that is a beautiful experience. If you have not had a chance to do that, put that on your list. I don't want to call it a bucket list because we want to live our lives to the fullest. And there is nothing on my bucket.
Yeah, I call it my bathtub list because it's bigger, but I think I'm going to call it my infinity jacuzzi list because
Mm.
infinity and beyond, right? It's never over until we leave our bodies, really. And even then, we're still time traveling with our spirit. So, anyways, let's one last gratitude. I am grateful that I get to travel in 10 days. Yep. I'll be going to Canada. I get to speak and visit my Chinese mom who has Parkinson's, and she's in palliative care now. And those of you all know, I got to hold the hand of my bonus mom who's here, and that's all done. And the service was beautiful. I haven't talked to you since we had the service, I think, and it went beautifully. So, honoring moms and just, experiencing that love. And while I'm in Canada, if you are listening now or later and know anyone in Canada that's while I'm there, you can save on travel expenses. I would love to bring 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are to you. I have 2 talks, but I always love to mix business and pleasure. So if there's a women's group or a business that's looking for someone to talk about less stress at work and more happiness everywhere, that's me. Dr. Tiffanie, do you want to start us off on the bottom of the bun, which is appreciation, gratitude turned inwards? What do you like about yourself? And the reason why we do this is because I want you to be the boss of your own mental health. And it's my BS, my belief system, that good mental health starts with self love, self approval, self soothing. And it's so important for you to know how good you are. And we are all loving, lovable, and loved, even though we don't feel like it sometimes. This is an exercise to ground you in that BS belief system.
Absolutely. And I have come to realize that I appreciate art. I never really considered myself to be a person who was into art and museums, but as Mia has been like, Mom, let's go look at this museum and let's go appreciate this art. And she has always been the artistic one. And she has been like, let's go to this museum. Come on. And I'm like, okay. But I have been really appreciating the art that we've been going to view. And I remember as we've been looking at Michelangelo's art and things like that, I actually appreciate the statues and I actually appreciate the art. And as we were looking at the Sistine Chapel
Mm.
and things like that, I really enjoyed those things. Oh,
Beautiful. How cool is
okay,
that?
girl.
And then like what caught moment again? What are the chances that yesterday's Tuesday talent guest was a fine art photographer? Isn't
Hmm.
that funny? And she had pictures of the Louvre and how often is it that I have fine artists on my Tuesday talent? Rarely. In 1300 and almost 61 shows, I maybe 3 times, and then you talk about it. So I love the serendipity doodah is what I call it too. All right. What do I like about myself? I like that I love to laugh. Laughter's my favorite sound. And so of course my favorite day of the year was yesterday. And that was April Fool's. And I know on KCAA you're going to hear this way after, but just pretend that you were part of my shame on fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on. I had people swearing at me. It was wonderful because I got them good. And it is really, I have to point out, I don't know if I can show you my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, every year, like 8 consecutive years or how many years, because it's my favorite thing. I get them every year. So I gave him this gif that said, like, you got me, right? So he had his assistant take a picture of him going like this and sent it back to me. Oh gosh, I do love my funny bone. I appreciate my funny bone. That's a
Did
new way
you,
of saying it.
did you send him the same thing you sent me?
Uh-huh.
And he fell for it.
Uh-huh. And the thing is, I think I did last year or 2 years ago, I said I'm moving to Canada, right? And people didn't read the April Fools. So literally last year they go, "Oh, you moved back from Canada." Like what part of how long do you need me to like prank you on April Fools for you to understand that I'm gonna do it?
Well,
So
you
and then
didn't get me.
I didn't get you. And here's the funny thing, at the risk of sounding like I'm male bashing, most no, no, no. A third of the women that I pranked said, "You're not going to get me this time." And literally, I think there was only 2 out of 300 and they men versus 20 out of 300 women who said, you're not going to get me. The men were like completely flabbergasted. So yeah, isn't that funny? And my BFF, I knew she was expecting it, right? So I had to do something different. So I thought I'd go for the shock factor, and I said, I'm not swiping anymore, but actually I might swipe, but I'm not going to swipe where I've been swiping, because I actually got asked out by a woman, or I said a girl, and then I put /woman, and her. And I think I'm going to go. And I didn't, say it was April Fool's or anything. And I just put that as a text. We text each other every day. And she comes back with, "I'm so happy for you. I'm like so excited." Da, da, da. And I put April Fool's, and she's like, "Dang, I really was excited for you." Now she's straight, so she wasn't thinking she was getting me to go to the other team or anything, but she just thought it was a great experience for me to experience, because I didn't do that in college. Apparently people do that in college and experiment, what is it, bi curious or something like that. I didn't do that. So anyways. Oh, TMI. Go ahead. What do you like about yourself?
Well, I like the fact that I didn't fall for your April Fool's joke. I like that. I like the fact that I didn't fall for the okie doke of Dr. Marissa.
Yeah.
But
Plump. Exactly. Oh, how funny. Okay. I appreciate my ability to continue to get closer to who I really am, that I'm not just this body, but I really am a spiritual being having a human experience, and a human who has a spiritual, like I'm like the glove of this greater, connection to love and peace and joy. And we all are. And that's the energy. We come from love. We go back into love when we leave our bodies. And the more I meditate, and the more that I'm grateful, and the more that I notice how beautiful life is, the closer I get to whatever you want to call that entity. People call him God or Source or Allah. I call him my UPS man, my universal power source, who delivers every morning when I pray and meditate. So I appreciate my ability to deepen my understanding of who I am through my life.
And I like the fact that people look to me to take leadership and organize. Sometimes I don't want to do it, and I do it kicking and screaming, but I like the fact that people look to me to do it. And whether I do it begrudgingly or wholeheartedly, I do it and I get it done effectively and efficiently.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. That's it for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
I hope you continue this good life habit, this #Blisscipline, for the next 28 days with or without us, because it is a way to sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. Everything is awesome. That's what it says on there. I picked the topic today. So I wanted to talk about something that, y'all know I'm still happily divorced, single, swiper, no swiping. I went on a date while I was speaking in San Diego, and I discovered I'm going to have to change my profile. So I need some help doing that today as well, because I discovered that I thought chemistry was first and foremost the thing, the glue to be able to start a relationship. And I discovered that it isn't, that this little C word called compatibility is much more important in terms of, what I love to do in my life. And so I said to Dr. Tiffany right after the date, I texted her while she's in Europe, and I said, I would love to talk about this for Doctors in the House. And, as usual, a lot of it is our experience. We are both coaches. We're not psychologists. It is I don't think it's just actually, I don't even know if it's a topic necessarily that psychologists talk about. Relationship coaches, certainly. But I wanted to, of course, live out loud, learn, and apply. So solution oriented me is in the house today. And Dr. Tiffany's going to try to stay awake for that.
Well, but in relationships, what is compatibility? It's the ability of two people to coexist harmoniously, basically respecting each other's differences and basically their shared values, their interests, and their ability to communicate effectively. And when we look at relationships, we have to break it down. I always say, I think of the Belle Biv DeVoe song, smack it, flip it up, rub it down. And really look at that thing and really dissect it and say, okay, let's really look at it and see, how do relationships work, and look at compatibility as well as incompatibility.
Yeah. And the thing, like, I think we've talked before about how similar you need to be, and of course opposites attract. That's another part of compatibility. It's really interesting how that happens. I use the Myers-Briggs, and a lot of the times introverts are attracted to extroverts. People who are data oriented are attracted to I have a dream, visionaries. People who are very time conscious are attracted to people who fly by the seat of their underwear. Whatever that difference is, it's so uncanny that people actually are attracted to each other. And it's a lot of fun in the beginning, but in a relationship, it can get to the point where it just drives you crazy. And when people come to me for happiness relationship coaching, it's uncanny. And I always ask them, at what point did you realize that this was a big difference between you two? Before or after marriage? Oh, way before. And it's like, what did you think was going to happen? Magically, that's that potential thing, or they'll change if they love me, which is just
Mhm.
like the most ridiculous term there is. But what I've discovered is, even in profiles, when we say I love to travel, um, that is important. But if you think about your day to day, and that for me was what struck me, you're not going to travel every week with people. Like, vacations for normal people are 2 weeks a year. I'm not normal. You're not normal. We travel like at least once a month. But still the day to day, and the thing that was the deal breaker was foodie. Can you believe it? I was like, the date was going well. He, tall. I like, big buff men, because I somehow feel like, I'm going to be, snuggled well. Nothing against short guys or slight guys, but I have my own hangups around body image and body size. That's my stuff. So I'm more attracted and smart, successful. And then I don't even know what brought it up. It was something about, um, Oh, yeah. We got to the point tomorrow we were gonna go out for dinner because I met him, just for a brief get to know you. And, I was like, "Well, I've been using the Michelin guide, right, to see good restaurants." And he's like, "Oh, I don't like going to restaurants. I don't know what they're using when they cook, and I don't what is that, eat to live or live to eat. I'm
Oh,
Yeah, he's like, I live no, no, no. I eat to live. I live to eat. I'm foodie. That's a definition. And I'll just throw a steak or a fish on the grill, and that's it. And I go out like 3 times a week. I love, the really good food. And he's like, "Oh no." I said, "So you wouldn't adjust, like go to 2 times a week?" I come down one day and he goes, "Nope." And I'm like, "Oh, well, bye."
yeah, I think that's important because you have to have some shared interests and some shared hobbies, and someone who's going to constantly critique you about what you eat and your food interests. They can't necessarily align properly. And that's definitely a problem, and that's an incompatibility. And when you look at what's compatible and what's incompatible, can you really have a good long-term relationship with someone who's going to constantly harp on you or have a problem with how you live your life? And it's fine if they're going to live their life that way, but are you going to be happy in the long term with someone who's going to constantly critique you? If that's how they're going to live their life, that's fine, but you have to decide, do you want to be with someone who's going to constantly irritate you or cause problems for you? So that's something that you have to look at and say, is that something that I want to live with or not live with? And only you can answer that question. No one can answer that question for you but you.
I don't think that it's so much them judging me because it's just not a match. Like there's not that I think if you let it get to the point where you're with someone that they know what you like, and they know they're not a match, and then you still go in there, then that's a judgment. But if you know it, it's just not a match. It's not like they're not doing anything to me. I don't know if that's how you meant it, but that's how I took it just now. I don't want to judge him either. I think if he eats to live, good. That good on him. He knows what he wants. It's just not a match for me.
Mhm.
So for me, it's like, I'm looking at my Bumble date, right? And the first thing is, get specific about the things you love, favorite interest. And I have foodie, right? So I'm glad that I'm pretty upfront about it. And then I have comedy, concerts, dancing, karaoke, right?
Mhm.
Causes, immigrant rights, human rights, neurodiversity. Qualities I value. Maybe this needs to change. You tell me. It says their qualities: confidence, humor, optimism. I'm thinking I need to change that because it says, tell us what you value in a person. I like ambition. I didn't put that down. So I think I need to change that because I like the man that's super successful, right? So I should put um, um, ambition down. Well, I'll read them all to you and you tell me, since we're talking about compatibility and you know who I am, right? What
Mhm.
three are the top? Ready? So,
Okay.
ambition, confidence, empathy, generosity, humor, kindness, openness, optimism, playfulness, sassiness, leadership, curiosity, gratitude, humility, loyalty, sarcasm, emotional intelligence. So I need to pick three, and I'm going to uncheck all of them. and you tell me which three you would pick as my top three.
Emotional intelligence is number one. And then ambition, because if they're emotionally intelligent and ambitious, and then kind.
Okay. So I agree with the ambition and the emotional intelligence. Optimism. Do you think that kindness is more important than optimism? Because I can't imagine with myself with a Debbie Downer or someone who's a cynic or someone who's negative.
Okay, so optimism is good because if they're optimistic, they're probably going to be kind. So yeah, go with optimistic.
Okay. So or generosity. That was my other, but a lot of successful people got successful because they didn't give a lot away.
That's true. They're not necessarily generous.
Right. Right. So what's most important to me? So sarcasm, no. Gratitude, yes, but I'm pretty grateful for both of us. Humility, not necessarily. Loyalty, it comes with the
But
territory.
see,
Curiosity.
when you go, since you can only pick your top three, once you start going out on your dates, you can start deciphering a
Okay.
little bit more.
So
And
ambition, optimism, and emotional intelligence are the winners. Those are the vowels.
mhm.
Okay. Quickest way to my heart is, tell me if this sounds right. And if I'm projecting myself the way, honestly. Respect my time, my mind, desire my body, share my passion for the deliciousness of life, and treat me like a lady. There's a song title in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Is
treat
that
me
is
like
that
a
me?
lady.
Okay. Two
Yep.
truths, two truths and a lie. I am allergic to hiking. I'm very shy, and I modeled for 10 years.
You are very shy. That's the lie.
Actually, I have to change that because I'm allergic to hiking. That is the truth. Oh, wait, that is the truth. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. My perfect first date is laughter sparks delicious meal, quote unquote, my treat, and yummy, quote unquote, dessert. Does that
You,
sound?
yes, you love a yummy dessert.
I won't put toes curl or anything here. Okay, opening moves. Three first messages your new matches can reply to. I said, please tell me you are successful, smart, and self-aware and not MAGA.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And if you've just tuned in, you're right, what's going on in the studio right now? Dr. Marissa is opening her profile, her swiper profile, to ask Dr. Tiffanie to decide if I have represented myself enough for the topic for today, which is compatibility. So we're going to take a quick break for news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, we will continue our tantalizing talk on compatibility as we hear from a word from our sponsor. Thanks for joining us today. I see eyeballs in. If you'd like to ask me or Dr. Tiffanie any questions, please do put them in the chat. We're so glad you're here on Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
we'll be right back in 2 and 2, as Chuck Woolery used to say. Peace in, peace out. Don't go away.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
Hi, I am Dr. the author of Little Engine Mia Sings. This is a book about Little Engine Mia. This is the story about a little toy engine that gets bullied on the playground. This is available as an audiobook as well. You can pick this book up on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. The next book is titled Bad Touching. This story is about two sisters who learn about good touching and bad touching. You can pick this book up on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. The next book is about three brothers who find $100 bill on their way home from the park. They race home to their mother, and she teaches them about money, about saving, tithing, and investing. Pick this book up from Barnes and Noble as well as Amazon. Don't delay, get this book today. You can pick it up on my website at www.drtiffanitate.com, drtiffanitate.com. Again, www.drtiffanitate.com. Thank you.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, which houses all 1,361 podcast shows over the past 674 consecutive weeks. But who's counting? And it is a fabulous Wednesday. My wonderful series called Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And she is live in studio from Italia. She is she's traveling. She returns tomorrow, and I'm so delighted that she gets to do a live show with us today. All the way from Italy. And what city are you in right now?
Today I am in Rome.
Roma. Tu sei simpatica. That means you are kind or nice. Bella is beautiful. And dove sei stato tutta la mia vita? Do you know what that means?
Mm-mm.
Where have you been all of my life?
Mm.
So I learned that and got into a lot of trouble when I was in Italy. I've been there several times. I think Italy is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And so if you haven't gone there, put it in your bathtub list, bigger than a bucket list. Portofino Italian Riviera is my favorite, as well as Venezia, which is Venice, Firenze, which is Florence, and Roma, which is Rome, where she is. What's the highlight, has been the highlight of your traveling in Italy?
Well, the highlight event was the wedding, and the highlight travel experience has definitely been the Amalfi Coast. Oh, the Amalfi Coast is just spectacular. Oh my goodness, it is just so beautiful.
Is it the water? Is it the scenery? Is it
The scenery, the hotel that we stayed in, it was just
what
fabulous.
was the name of the hotel?
Well, it was Grand Excelsior,
Okay.
Amalfi, Grand Excelsior Amalfi.
Is that the one for the wedding?
No, because we stayed in Amalfi for the wedding, and we stayed in Stresa for the wedding.
Sorry, Stress over. Okay. Right.
It was just beautiful. Oh my goodness. days.
Did you rent a car or did you take a train?
So we took a train and we flew in and then we went to Pisa, then we went to Florence, then we went to Stresa. So we've made our way around.
I That's so awesome. I love the train. That's like my favorite. And the train through Europe is I lived in Brussels for 2 years. I think I told you that. But
Mhm.
from that base, I got to travel like almost every weekend just to, enjoy Europe. So
Mm.
I'm a little green today because I kind of wish I had been in your suitcase for there. It sounds like I need to I've been waiting to meet someone to travel with because I do so much traveling on my own.
Well,
I
I've been
wanna
practicing my Italian. My Italian is remedial. It's not as fancy as yours. I was like, "Come stai?" I have remedial Italian, so I've been practicing my Duolingo Italian. So I'm working on there. I can
Good.
say some basic Italian.
Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah, we're talking about compatibility today, and it's my choice of a topic because of my hobby right now, or my extreme hobby is dating and swiping. So we just went through the most of my profiles to get Dr. Tiffany to validate whether I am putting out there what I am looking for with high ranking or high probability of compatibility, because I didn't I'm getting more clear about why what makes a good relationship. What is compatibility, the role of compatibility? So we made sure that foodie is right up in the front, and this is the last thing that is about me. So write a fun and punchy intro. So this is my intro. You tell me if I'm, you know, uh, uh, putting out enough for compatibility. I am multifaceted, positive, creative, fun loving, spiritual, funny, and a recovering overachiever with a life motto: don't die wondering, looking for a successful man to intimately partner with, as opposed to compete with or complete me with. Both 88% fabulous and 12% human. And then I put my IG, which is
Wait. You only want him to be 12% human? I thought you want him to be 100% human.
no, I want him to be 88% fabulous and
Okay.
12% not fabulous, human.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, definitely human. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. I just want that to be clear. No computers.
You
Okay.
don't
All right.
think that's clear?
Yeah. Okay. I
Oh,
just want you
so
to.
88% fabulous and 12% imperfect? I like
Okay. No,
human.
that's perfect. Okay. I just want him to be 100% human. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. And is that do you think that would attract someone compatible?
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but I'm wondering, they do have like character, let's see if yeah, they only have 8 characters left on that. Um should I put there foodie must?
I think so because you don't want someone who is that you can't go out and eat with. You want someone who you can go out and enjoy a meal with.
Okay.
And the last thing you want to do is to go out with someone who you can't eat with. I think food is something that people bond over and bond with. And meals are important. It's something that you do daily.
So I'll say foodie plus. No, that sounds like it's a bonus. I only have
So
3 characters left.
can you do foodie heart?
Foodie, oh, that's a good idea. Foodie heart. Yes, I even have 2 extra left over. Okay. So I put foodie heart, uh,
Foodie heart fun plus. That means like, because you're fun. And if
Okay.
they're fun, that's a plus.
All
Because
right.
you have energy. And if they have energy too, that's a plus. That's a
Okay.
bonus.
So I put foodie, heart, fun, both with capital F's, and then IG doc balance.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
And if they, yep, and if they see your Instagram, they will know who you are, and they can like it or love it. And hey, you will attract the right person.
I want to let's see. Perfect first date. Laughter sparks, delicious meal, my treat, yummy dessert. Um I think there might be room to actually put more. I'm thinking of like putting down, and this is why I wanted to talk about compatibility. It's less about, travel, which you do rarely, not rarely, but you don't spend 70% of your time traveling, maybe 40% for us. But the day to day, like I want, if I look at my day and what I really want to have in a partner, and if I met someone to have a relationship, the compatibility would be, yeah, 3 nights we go out and have really good food. And then when we come home, we uh play a game of backgammon, we watch a series, and then on the weekend, we go, catch a show or,
Mm.
go on an experience, like I want to actually, I know it takes the romance and the magic and the delight and the surprise out of it, but there's almost something about, pre-paving with compatibility. And that's why I
And
wanted to.
it's whatever makes you happy, because my ideal for a great partner is snuggling up together on the sofa with a remote control in my hand. I just want to cuddle up in front of the boob tube and relax. That makes me happy. Granted, I'm in another country right now, but I'd rather be cuddled up on the sofa with the dog, Mickey Jack, at my feet and my heated blanket wrapped around me.
So how do we, I mean, first let me ask you that question. If I, well, you're a woman, so I guess if there's guys, I know I see eyeballs, so I know you're listening. If you're a guy listening, and if I put on my profile sort of like my ideal week, is that taking the mystery out of it? Is that taking the, I know it's good because it's communication, which Dr. Tiffany always talks about. But it's the same idea behind, like when you're in bed and you're you know making whoopee. Like, how directive do you get? That's communication on what you like and what you don't like. The downside is it's sort of, some people say, well, it just ruins the moment. So I'm not taking it in that direction necessarily. It's just an example of how much communication is too much communication, how much laying out of what you like is too much laying out of what you like. Because met someone else who said, I can't stand it when a woman tells me, what to do, to please her. So
I
anyway.
disagree, because I actually had a friend and he said, listen, I am not your father. I don't know what you want. Men are not your dad. We don't know what you want unless you tell us. So you need to tell us what you want. And then if you tell us what you want and we don't give it to you, it's either one, we don't care enough to care, or two, we need to be with another woman. So put it out there, and either you will be with a man who actually cares enough to give you what you want.
Can a man really be trained to satisfy not just in bed, but in all these areas of compatibility, in all of these areas of, preferences. So I'll give you a great, realistic example right now. So if you're dating and you're older, I'm hashtag ageless, but I let's just put the moose on the table. Where's my moose? And that's my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room. When you're older, you kind of have, like Dr. Tiffany, you have things that you like to do, the way you like to do them, places you want to be, that you want to be there, things that you like to do. And half the time I come home and I go, if I were in a relationship right now, I don't know if I want them with me right now. I just need some like my time right now. And I can't imagine having to like then please him. And, I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Right. So when you're older and you're dating, what is that realistic, compatible expectation going to be?
Well, I think that's why effective communication is necessary because we are seasoned daters, and most of the men are also seasoned daters. They are set in their lives. We are set in our lives. They have their own homes. We have our own homes. They have their own quality of life. We have our own quality of life. They want to look at your life and say, does my life match up with her life? Yeah, they like the same things. We like the same things. Okay,
That's
we
why
get it.
compatibility is the most important
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yes. Or they'll be like, okay, she's up here and I'm down here. Oh, no, we don't match. Okay, she's down here, I'm up here. Oh, we don't match. Okay, we're similar. We could probably do this. I'm willing to compromise. Okay, her expectations are here, mine are down here. This isn't gonna work. I like what she's saying. I'm willing to come up here. Okay, if you have everything that you want and she's cute, maybe I'll come up. Okay, she's up here, maybe
Literally.
I'll come up. And so, I mean, they might be willing to do this. So if you have everything that you want written down in your profile, and you're like, okay, this is what my week looks like. This is what I want, and they don't even have to go out on a date with you. And you're like, okay, these are the things I like, but this is what my average week looks like. They're like, okay, I might be able to work with this. I might be able to work with her. And I don't even have to waste my time going on a date with her yet. Okay, this is worth me taking my time out of my schedule to go on a date with her before I even invest my time in my evening.
Mm.
So you'll probably get even more dates because you put more information out there. So
Okay.
this where that effective communication is out there so they can respect those differences. And so when you start looking at those shared values, those complementary strengths, those complementary differences, so it's like, okay, we may not want to eat the same things, but she likes some different movies, but we still like to watch movies. So I might
Mm.
want to go to the
Mhm.
movies and I might
Mhm.
go see a chick flick with her sometimes, and she might go see an action movie sometimes, but we like to go to the movies. So it's okay. She likes to dance and I like to dance. The fact is that we both like to go out. So we can do that. She doesn't
Mhm.
want to just sit at home.
Yeah.
Whereas this person doesn't want to go out at all.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we can do some of these things. We have complementary strengths. So we can work some of these things out together. So it's
Mhm.
worth me taking her out on a date to see, can we align properly?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you agree the more is better, right? And
Mhm.
that way you're forewarned and forearmed whether you want to date, whether you want to start this new chapter in my book of romance. As usual, we're out of time. This has been great. Thank you so much, Dr. Tiffany, for helping me gain some clarity around compatibility, and I'm now even more. My BS is stronger. That it is true, and it can really. I the futurizing and the, when we were kids, we would write their last name and all of that when it came to relationships. It is a recipe for disaster. So I think, this is like smart dating is what we're talking about, right? It's not wasting our time. Thank you so much, Dr. Tiffanie. Have a very, very safe trip back to home, the US of A from Italy. Oh, Dorcas. Thank you, Dorcas. Good conversation. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I certainly did too. I love it when I love having a show. I can talk about what I want to. No, but thank you, Dr. Tiffanie. And as usual, it has been a lot of fun. It's all about oh no, final word. I forgot the final. We have time for a final word.
We do have time for a final word. Don't ever give up on love. Don't ever give up on striving. And don't worry about compatibility or incompatibility. Stay true to yourself. And just know, as long as you love yourself, love will find you and true love will come to you.
And my final word is compatibility is just as important as chemistry, if not more important. But you can't find anyone compatible if you don't know what you like, who you are, what you don't like. So the first step is to get to know you in the most loving way possible. Here we go, Dr. Tiffanie. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now take it out for me. Go and have
the best day ever.
I'll see you tomorrow for Throwback Thursdays on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. So glad you joined us.